Today I am reading The Rainbow Fish. A long way out in the deep blue sea, there lived a fish. Not just an ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple, with sparkling silver scales among them. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. "Come on, Rainbow Fish," they would call. "Come and play with us." But the Rainbow Fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. One day, a little blue fish followed after him. "Rainbow Fish," he called, "wait for me. Please give me one of your shiny scales. They are so wonderful, and you have so many." "You want me to give you one of my special scales? Who do you think you are?" cried Rainbow Fish. "Get away from me." Shocked, the little blue fish swam away. He was so upset. He told all his friends what had happened. From then on, no one would have anything to do with the Rainbow Fish. They turned away when he swam by. What good were the dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean. One day he poured out his troubles to the starfish. "I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anyone like me?" "I can't answer that for you," said the starfish. "But if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find the wise octopus. Maybe she can help you." The Rainbow Fish found the cave. It was very dark inside, and he couldn't see anything. There was suddenly two eyes caught him in their glare, and the octopus emerged from the darkness. "I have been waiting for you," said the octopus with a deep voice. "The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how to be happy." I can't," the Rainbow Fish started to say, but the octopus had already disappeared into a cloud of ink. "Give away my scales? My beautiful shining scales? Never! How could I ever be happy without them?" Suddenly, he felt a light touch of a fin. The little blue fish was back. "Rainbow Fish, please don't be angry. I just want one little scale." The Rainbow Fish wavered. "Only one very small, shimmery scale," he thought. "Well, maybe I wouldn't miss just one." Carefully, the Rainbow Fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you very much," the little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shiny scale in among his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the Rainbow Fish. For a long time he watched the little blue fish swing back and forth with his scale glittering in the water. The little blue fish whizzed through the ocean with his scale flashing. So it didn't take long before the Rainbow Fish was surrounded by other fish. Everyone wanted a glittering scale. The Rainbow Fish shared his scales left and right, and the more he gave away, the more delighted he became. When the water around him filled with glimmering scales, at last He felt at home among the other fishes. Finally, the rainbow fish had only one shining scale left, his most prized possession. He had given away. His most prized possession had been given away. Finally, the rainbow fish had only one shining scale left. His most prized possessions had been given away, yet he was very happy. "Come on, rainbow fish," they called. "Come play with us." "Here I come," said the rainbow fish, and happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. The end. And there is rainbow fish with his one glittering scale. Okay, everybody, we are going to be making some rainbow fish today. We just listened to the story Rainbow Fish, and so now we are going to be creating our own rainbow fish. So flip to a fresh page in your sketchbook or put out a white sheet of paper. And we are going to start by actually turning our paper. We're going to be turning it this way. We want the spiral up at the top, or if you don't have a spiral, whatever all the pages are held together by. Up at the top, we are going to start with a pencil. And the first thing we are going to draw our rainbow fish is we are going to draw a potato. Very simple. So you're going to put your hand in the middle of your paper and you are going to draw your potato shape around your hand. When you get to where your wrist is, move your hand and finish. There is your potato shape. Now we're going to turn this potato into a fish. Magic. I know, right? So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to do his tail fin. So to do the tail fin, you are going to pick which side you want the tail to be. I'm going to have my tail on this side. You're going to draw two lines that are diagonal, which means they're going to go from the body and they're going to try and touch the corners of your paper. So go this way, and one is going to go this way. You don't want it to go off the edge of your paper. You want to stop just short, about a finger space between the edge of the paper and where your line stops. Finger space. Now we are going to connect these two lines with a wavy line, so it looks like his tail fin is waving in the ocean. So you're going to do this by just doing a gentle wavy one. We don't want a crazy wavy line where it looks like too much. Just a gentle wave. Now we are going to do his head. So his head's going to be on this side. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw his eye. So you're going to draw a circle with another circle inside. Make sure it touches that first circle. You can color it in with your pencil very lightly. And then we're going to give him some lips. So to do his lips, we are going to do a curved line, almost like you're going to make the top of a heart. Like that for his lips. So curve and curve, just like a bumpy line almost. Then about a finger between his eye and what we're going to draw next is we're going to draw a line to separate his body from the front of his face. So you're going to put a finger here and you're going to draw a curved line like that. Just one gentle curve. Now we are going to do his fin that goes on the top of his head, kind of like, almost looks like a mohawk. So to do that, you're going to start about a finger space from where we drew that line to the top of his body. And we're going to do, it's a really weird shape. It's kind of like a J. Like that. So we kind of have like, it's almost like a J. And then we're going to start where at the top of the J and do a wavy line back down to his body. That. And now we need to do his little fins on the side. So to do his fin, it's kind of like drawing a leaf. It's going to be very easy. So you're going to do a curved line like that and then a curved line back. Just like that for his fins. Now to add some details, we are going to draw some lines because fins usually have details on them. So we're going to draw another line here, kind of like if we were drawing a leaf, but instead of just doing one, we're going to do two. we're going to draw 1, 2, 3 three lines on the tail. And let's do the same up here. 1, 2, 3. Now, we are going to do a fish scale pattern. Fish scale pattern is very easy, but it takes a lot of time. But it looks really cool when you're done. So, to do a fish scale pattern, you're going to turn your paper like this, and we are going to draw a bumpy line from this edge to this edge of the body. But you don't want a normal, small, bumpy line. You want pretty big bumps in your line, because if you do tiny little bumps, it's going to take forever, and we don't want it to take forever. So you're going to do tiny little bumps. No, take that back. You're going to do large bumps. So big bumps, big jumps, big hops, big bumps, all the way to the side. Now, what we have going on is we have a bumpy line, and on the top of the bump, that's a hill. Where it comes down to meet the line, that's a valley. See, it makes a V for valley. Our next row of bumpy lines, we want our bumps to land on top of the hills, not in the valleys. So watch me. Big, big bump. Now, is my line going to go through my fin? Good. If you said no, you'd be correct. So I'm going to pick up my pencil, go to the other side of my fin, and continue. Top of the hill, and stop when you get to the body. So continue this. Don't go into the valleys. I know it's super hard. You want to go into the valleys, but you want to land on the hill. Make your jumps land on the hill. And when you run out of space, that means you're done. So, we have a beautiful fish. How cool is that? So now, what we want to do next is we are going to do some seaweed on the ocean floor because our fish is in the ocean. So a very easy way to do seaweed, there are two ways to do seaweed. You can do a wavy line like this, and then a wavy line back down, which is pretty cool. Like it, looks good. But there's also another way to do seaweed where you make like stretched out number 8s. So you do a wavy line like this, kind of like that. So they kind of look like 8s that are stuck together. So we're going to do another one over here. This one's going to be short. Then, if you want, you can add some rocks and other things you would see on the ocean floor. So to add a rock, you're just going to make like a blob. And then when we go to color it, you color it gray. Blob. Since our fish is underwater, I think we should add some bubbles. So let's add a few bubbles. 1, 2, 3. Should we add like 1,000,000 bubbles? No, that's too many bubbles. Should we add like 3 or 4 bubbles? Yeah, 3 or 4 bubbles sounds good. There we go. There is my rainbow fish. So, the next thing we're going to do, you tell me, what's the next step? Correct. If you said trace, you're right. We're going to trace over all of our pencil with our Sharpie. Now that we have traced everything, can you guess what I should do next? What do you think my next step is? If you said erase, you would be correct. Now we are going to color our rainbow fish. So what we are going to do first is let's color the seaweed first, because that'll be pretty quick and pretty easy. So we are going to use a green color of marker.
Now that we have the seaweed done, we should move on to the rocks. Now, if you have a gray marker, you can use a gray marker to color your rocks. If you don't have a gray marker, don't worry. You can always just use a black if you want to use a black marker, or you can use a gray crayon if you have a gray crayon. Now let's color our rainbow fish. So first I think we should do, let's see, let's do green. I'm going to let you guys pick the colors for your rainbow fish. I would like for the head, the fins, and the tail to be the same color. So if you pick red, it's got to be red face, red fins, red tail. If you pick orange, it's got to be orange face, orange fins, orange tail. We can change up the colors and do whatever colors you want for the body, but for the fins and the face, they all have to be the same. Everything with an F. Fins and face must be the same. Now for the scales, you can use whatever colors you want, any order you want, go wild, do whatever you like for your scales. Okay, now that my rainbow fish is all done, we need to do the water. Now, what color should I do if it is water? What do you think? If you said blue, you'd be correct. But instead of using crayon, or instead of using marker, it's a lot of area to color with marker, right? It's going to take a while. So instead, we're going to use a crayon. So find a blue crayon that you'd like to use, and we're going to fill in all of this. Now, what about the bubbles? Do we think that the bubbles should be blue, or do you think we should keep them white? If you said white, I agree. So I'm going to put bumpers around them first, and then color everything else with my blue crayon. Make sure that we are going in the same direction. Even when we're doing a big area like this, we need to make sure that we go in the same direction, not a bunch of different crazy and scribbly directions. When you're coloring near the edge, if you notice, I'm putting my thumb at the edge of my book and then coloring, because when I don't do that, see how I like go off the edge of the paper and then I have to pick up my crayon and go back over, and then I keep kind of falling off the page. If you put your thumb there, it acts like a bumper and it bounces your crayon back onto the page. It keeps your crayon on the page. So you can create your own bumper with your thumb. That works on any edge of your book. Now, if you would like to make your rainbow fish a little fancier, and you have some kind of glitter glue or glitter paper or gel pen or something shiny that you would like to add on just one of the scales, you can do that. I think I have a glittery gel pen that I'm going to use to color over one of my scales so that it'll be glittery and shiny.
So now I have one glittery scale on my rainbow fish. Like I said, you can use any kind of sparkly thing you can add. Maybe if you have aluminum foil or tin foil at home, you can ask somebody to help you cut out a little scale to glue on your paper, or if you have a sparkly pen or glitter glue or something like that, you can add it too.